Hi everyone, this is Nikki Rowland, and before we start I just wanted to mention that I recently lost my Instagram account because I was hacked, so I have a new one which is called @NikkiClaireCreates, so if you would like to follow along with me that would be great. Okay, so my layout today is for Hip Kit Club and it's Mixed Media Monday, and I am applying mixed media to a cut file. I've got all of the March kits to play with, including the colour kit, which is what I'm focusing on today, and this is the cut file I've used. So it's called Crafters Stick Together, and it's a subscriber cut file available in the Hip Kit Club store. Okay, so I have cut it onto a piece of white marshmallow cardstock. I've also cut a couple of different varieties of the inner section because I wanted to back the word crafters. So I did that on my silhouette, and I've left the whole cut file Crafters Stick Together on my cutting mat. So I have reached for 3 colours of the embellishment mousse, the Nuvo Embellishment Mousse. We got 2 colours in the March colour kit. One is the pink one called Peony Pink, and the other yellow one is called Custard Cream. Now the purple one that I'm using right now was in the February kit, and that is called Lilac Lavender. So I'm using all 3 today. I also reached for a Vicki Boutin stencil that we also got in the February colour kit. Okay, so I'm using a mixture of 2 colour kits here really. So I'm just applying, I've put my stencil over the top of my cut file, which as I said is still on my mat, stuck flat, and I'm applying the mousse through the stencil. I'm aiming for kind of like an ombre effect, and I want those middle sections to overlap. Now the pink and the purple blend together quite easily because they're similar in colour, but the pink and the yellow are quite different, so I just kind of used a dry brush and smooshed them together. So I'm now attempting the more difficult thing of moving the stencil over without having let it dry in between, of course, because I would never be that patient. I'm just moving it around to make sure that I cover the entire cut file in that paste. So you can't really see the cut file now because it's completely covered in embellishment mousse, but it looks awesome when it's pulled off the mat. So I did leave it to dry a bit. Actually, I dried it with a heat tool, and then I wanted to put a colour wash over my background as well. So I didn't just want the bits in between the stencil to be white. I wanted them to be the similar colours to what I have already put on the background through the stencil. So I'm using the same pastes but just watered down a bit. So the purple one I've watered down, and I'm just washing the colour over the top of my dry stenciling, and then I'm going to do exactly the same with the pink and then the same with the yellow as well. These mousses are really great fun to work with. They dry super shiny. They're just a really lovely pearlescent feel to them when they're done. And they also water down well too, so I can do this colour wash. It's also great for splatters as well. I do put some splatters on the layout, but right at the end. Yeah, so I've grabbed my brush again, the dry brush again, to kind of blend the colours together a bit there. Okay, so coming in with the yellow, just going over the cut file, over all the stenciling that I've already done, and I've just made sure that I've covered the cut file completely, and then I'm just blending those 2 colours together a little bit there. Okay, so that's the mixed media part done. I'm going to dry that with my heat tool and peel it carefully off my cutting mat. It came off really well. There was a few bits that were a bit stuck, but I just kind of eased them with my fingers. I didn't need to use scissors or anything, and it looks absolutely fab. All that texture is on the cut file itself rather than on the background with the cut file over the top of it. So a nice different way to use a cut file today. So I'm backing my cut file, the word crafters, with the word that's cut out in solid colour that I did on my silhouette earlier as well. I'm just putting the word on the back and then putting the middle bits into the letters, so the R, the A and the other R. That sits there perfectly and made that job a heck of a lot quicker than it would have been if I did it by hand. I've just noticed that there's a few bits from the glue gun that I have not poked out, so I'm just going to do that now. And then I've also cut a backing for my cut file out of the yellow paper with suns on it, and I'm going to stick that on. Now I really struggle with this. Once I've got it on, I don't like it, so I end up taking it off again and cutting something different. In fact, I tried about 3 different things. I'm not sure if they all ended up on film, but I just wasn't happy. And basically what I'd done is I hadn't cut the gaps out big enough. So not big enough, I hadn't cut enough of the gaps. So you see there's a gap between the stick and together. I've cut those ones out, but there were other ones that I didn't cut out, like around the C, around the in between the R and the S, and other ones as well. So I just felt that the backing needed a bit more definition and also needed to be in a solid colour. So I sort that out a bit later on in the video. Okay, so I'm working with my background. I want a white background for this layout because I want my mixed media on my cut file to really stand out. And I've gone for that beautiful, beautiful heart paper by Paige Evans Bloom's. And I'm going to trim my white background down a little bit more because I really don't want to lose the effect of the rainbow paper, and if I just have a strip at the top and the bottom, all I'll see is pinks at the top and blues at the bottom, and I want to see the rainbow effect down the sides as well. So by just trimming off the edges slightly, I have a much prettier border around my layout. Okay, so I'm just going to take the middle out of that paper because it's beautiful and I might want to use it for something else. I've already cut the word crafters out of the middle, which I'm a bit gutted about because I didn't even use it, so therefore I might not be able to use that piece of paper, but hey, I'll give it a go. It might be okay for mounting photos. Okay, so I am just trying to work out now where everything is going to go on this layout. So I have these 2 photos and I'm just going to spend a bit of time faffing around with where they're going to go. So these photos are fabulous photos. So we had a cyber retreat last weekend, but unfortunately because of the current situation it was cancelled, so we held the retreat online instead, and obviously being behind a computer screen doesn't give you the feel of being in a crop room. However, me and a group of friends, we met up constantly on the House Party app and spent the entire weekend chatting to each other via the House Party app. So I literally put my phone in front of me with these girls on there, and it was literally like being in the room with them. It was so cool. So it was a really fab weekend in the end, not because of everything that was happening online, not only that, but also because I was actually able to spend it with my friends, and it did seem as though we were actually in the same room. So even though the world is a bit of a different place to normal at the moment, it is really great that we live in an age where technology is so good, and that we are able to stick together. This cut file was really perfect because literally us crafters did literally stick together. So it was really, really great, and I'll forever be grateful for technology that allows us to socially connect, even though we can't do it physically at the moment. Okay, so I'm just mounting my photos. So they're slightly awkward shape. I had one long one and I've mounted it on a journaling card, and one smaller one which I cut down, and I've also mounted that onto a journaling card too. I think maybe I haven't done it yet, but this cut file, this is where I had a stress out about my cut file. Didn't like the look of the background, so I've recut the backing, but I've cut it on a lighter pink and instead of yellow, and I have made it more detailed. So I made more holes in the background, effectively, more detailed cuts around the cut file basically, just to give it a bit more emphasis and make it stand out a bit better. So that's what I have done with that cut file. I'm happier with it now. I'm still not 100% happy, and I did try a few different backgrounds that I cut on my silhouette, but I was happiest with the pink one. I think the reason is because of all the mixed media on the cut file. The yellow against the pink looks great, but it doesn't look, the pinks and purple against the pink doesn't look quite as good, doesn't make it stand out as well. But I think that's because I've gone for an ombre style. Unless I find an ombre paper that matches perfectly, I'm probably not going to get any kind of contrast from one solid, unless I went for a completely different colour, I guess, but that would be a bit weird. So I'm still not 100% happy with the pink, but I'm going to stick with it and persevere. And I'm really happy with actually how it turned out. It was pretty good in the end, so I'm okay with it. I'm definitely okay with it. Okay, so just mounting my second photo onto another journaling card there. That's the one with like rainbow stripes, different coloured stripes. Sorry, my lighting is going a bit strange. I seem to have flashes of light. I don't know why. Maybe it's where I cover up the light or something when I put my arm past it. Not sure. So I was using different lighting this weekend, so maybe that's why that's happened. Okay, so just trying to figure out where my photo should go with the cut file. You saw me earlier faffing around with where it should go, and I decided that my glue gun should be pointing towards my photos rather than off the page. So I'm going to place my cut file onto the photos, and it will cover up part of the photos, but I'm going to place it so that I don't cover anyone's face and that I can still see the majority of the people on the photos. So I'm just raising my cut file up on foam pads. That's my favourite thing to do. A bit of a labour of love, but I love to have dimension on my layouts, so well worth it as far as I am concerned. I'm just now going through working out what embellishments I can use, because I finally have the bare bones of my layout. So I have my cut file in the right place and my photos, and the bow I'm planning to use in that corner. So now I'm just going through my embellishments, trying to work out what I can use. So I found a few bits and pieces. There's lots of lovely sentiments in the kit this month, mostly from the Jen Hadfield Hey Hello collection. So I'm just putting out some of the nice sentiments that work well with my photos. So I've got good vibes on screen at the moment, and you are the best. So they obviously go well with what we were doing at the weekend. I really loved that envelope with the flowers coming out of it. That's also Jen Hadfield, so I've just put that to the left of my my left photo, and I'm going to build a cluster around that section as well, because there's a bit of a gap there, a bit of a height difference between the top of the cut file and the top of the photo. So that's a perfect little gap there to fill in with an embellishment cluster. And of course the other one is going to be down to the right corner of the right photo. Okay, so just going through my embellishments, working out what I can use, what works, and pulling out all the appropriate items. I really love these little bows from Crepe Paper Magical Forest. They give lots of lovely texture to the layouts and are super pretty, so big thumbs up from me. So using one of those down there as well, and I'm still fiddling around with that sticker, that envelope sticker. I wasn't sure about it, but actually I really love it. I was just a bit worried about the size of it. It was quite big, but in the end I decided to go for it. I'm happy with it. I'm good with it. So I'm going to make a decision, be decisive, and stick it down. I can always remove it again later if I need to. Okay, so just getting those bits stuck in place. I have just put a vellum flower behind the greenery to make it a little bit more pink, and I've added a few bits from the Heidi Swap storyline chapters ephemera, the rainbow, there's a sunshine, the lemon down there. They're all from that same pack, and that vellum flower I just put behind the envelope too, so that's all from the same storyline chapters ephemera. So I'm just working on things, getting things stuck down, fiddling around a lot with my placement. I can't decide where anything's going today. So this good vibes was one that said sending good vibes, but I cut off the word sending and just went for good vibes. Yeah, still fiddling with that envelope. Okay, so I'm just going to add some gold thread through the "You Are the Best" tag, and now I'm going to come in and add some more thread twiddles where I can. So I'm going to put some behind the bow and put some, well, a bit further up actually, and then some behind the envelope as well at the top, just to give them a little bit of extra whimsicalness. I don't know the word for that. So yeah, just carrying on building up my clusters, going through all the embellishments. There are so many in this kit. We're obviously completely spoiled by Hip Kit, but also this month we have extra stickers because we have a Heidi Swap sticker book that has like 8 pages on it. And then we also have the Hey Hello one as well, which also has like 6 pages, I think. So there's an awful lot of stickers this month. So you can see me just leafing through all of the pages there. So this one in particular I love. It says everything will be okay. Now that possibly is supposed to be a sentiment for maybe a sympathy card or something, or just, you know, a feeling good card or not feeling good. It's great that we can make something like that work in these current circumstances that we are all facing in the world. So yeah, I wanted this page to be a positive page about all the good things that can still happen even though we are all stuck indoors. Yeah, so it's all coming together nicely. I'm just trying to see if there's anything else I can add. So just some florals there, adding to the florals with the envelope, but in the end I don't like it. So I took that off, and then just found some other bits. So it was the colours that were off on those florals, not the florals themselves. So I just went through and found some similar colours, so the light pinks really. So I've just added in a coffee cup with some leaves growing from it and a cute little snail. Obviously there were no snails at my house at the weekend, but anything goes, hey. And adding a couple of those beautiful Bloom Street butterflies as well because they are gorgeous. So butterflies go with everything, I think. So yeah, just been adding and adding and adding, building up those clusters, taking my sweet time doing it. I really have been slow today. Yeah, just carrying on adding little bits and pieces here and there. I flirted with the idea of using the heart puffy stickers, butterflies, but they didn't really work with the colours, so I didn't use those. But I added some more hearts, small hearts from the Hey Hello sticker sheet, and I'm going through adding some of those beautiful Prima Saying Crystals gems, so just adding a few of those in as well, just to add a bit of sparkle and a bit more happiness. I just found some gold leaf stickers in one of the sticker books, that's the Jen Hadford one, so I've just pulled some of those out and I'm sticking those in place just to puff out my my clusters a little bit. So just adding a few of those in just to make the florals a bit thicker basically. So I found this vellum or see-through sticker, it's not vellum really, maybe it is, in the Heidi Swap sticker book, I think it's the Heidi Swap one. I get confused between the two. And it says no bad days, so I'm gonna put that onto this layout and hopefully live by that mantra over the coming weeks, although homeschooling is challenging. Yeah, just want this page to be a positive, happy page about how great it is to still remain connected with my friends. So I'm now adding some splatters to the layout, just by watering down the Nuvo pink paste mousse and adding some splatters just with a paintbrush. So yeah, nearly done now. Just adding the splatters around the clusters, and then I felt that it needed to be balanced out, so I did a little bit down to the left of the word together as well. Okay, so I'm all done. I just wanted to show the journaling that I wrote in, which says, such strange times, the coronavirus means we are all in lockdown. So happy we can still scrap with my crafty friends online. It's almost like being in the room with you all. And that's me done. So thank you very much for joining me today. I hope you've enjoyed the layout for Mixed Media Monday, and don't forget that if you subscribe to the Hip Kit Club you get some benefits. So you get the main kit at a reduced price, 15% off of all add-on kits, as well as exclusive cut files like the one I used today. So yeah, thank you so much for joining me. That was Nikki Rowland for Hip Kit Club.